Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mayur Purandar, VP of Enterprise Architecture and Platforms at Lowe. Today, I would want to share some insights about building an omni-channel retail platform, the nature of problems involved, and how technology and innovation can help solve them. Before that, a bit about myself and what I do at Lowe's. I come with over 2 decades of experience building and learning technology. A good part of my career, I've been working on problems related to retail and e-commerce. Here at Lowe's, we are in a journey of building an omni-channel retail ecosystem, and my team helps provide architecture and technology governance. My team also builds the foundational technology building blocks over which the retail platform is built. Since retail and technology are my core interests, I would like to share some of my experiences on what it takes to build a lasting omni-channel retail platform. Since a decade, we have been hearing this jargon of omni-channel retail. It used to be multi-channel before, now the buzzword of omni-channel retail has taken over. A bit of context here. During the first decade of this millennia, we had an e-commerce revolution wherein we almost declared the brick and mortar stores business as dead. Several retailers who had both stores and online were contemplating the need of stores at all. There were in fact several store closures. However, in the second decade, several retailers understood the complementary nature of these two channels, stores and online, and were successful in reigniting the stores business. So much so that several large pure play e-commerce players started to expand into stores by the way of acquisitions and also investing in stores technology like touchless commerce. This complementary nature of the channels is what I like to call as omni-channel retail. Omni-channel retail opens up several possibilities and expectations as well. A customer doesn't care about channels. All they care about is convenience and value. Hence, having stores or experience hubs closer to customers is not a liability but an advantage. These geo-distributed experience hubs provide additional touch points with the customer. If done right, can result in customer delight and hence brand loyalty. While omnichannel retail is the future, getting there is not trivial. If a retailer is store heavy or online heavy, they need to take different paths, and the nature of problems encountered are different too. And I would like to touch upon them. Imagine an e-commerce retailer who is in business for about a decade, trying to get into stores business, eventually plans to open thousands of stores. The biggest realization will be the need of mini data centers or compute in the store's backroom. Now, why do we need this? Everything can be in the cloud. It's exactly like saying we don't need stores, and we know how wrong we were. Having compute capacity near the store locations is important as it opens up several possibilities, including the use of AI and ML for problems like out of stock and shrinkage, IoT for device management and optimization, even the basic speed of retail transactions. Even the biggest cloud providers have at max hundreds of data centers and not thousands. The problems encountered in deploying, operating, and monitoring workloads across thousands of mini data centers is not trivial. It requires deep infra and cloud engineering expertise to solve them. End of the day, for stores technology, it's not one metric, but 1,000 metric. It is a mindset change. These mini data centers are capacity constrained and hence will want to leverage whatever capacity is available in the store premise, be it point of sale registers, kiosks, mobile devices, anything. There is no easy way to leverage this compute other than to build a platform using grid computing techniques, which is hard. Overall, while it looks like e-commerce infra is hard, stores infra has its own nuances and it is hard as well, if not harder. There are a lot of AI and ML work going on. These applications can solve several stores problems, including out of stock or shrinkage, etc. However, these AI and ML applications need specialized compute. While at stores, there is always a shortage of compute infra. We cannot move large datasets back to cloud or on-prem for these algos to work. We need to figure out a way to make these ML and AI systems work under constrained compute infrastructure. Typically, the technology teams in e-commerce retailers are all about speed and agility. There are always hundreds of A/B tests going on. One important distinction with stores is that the associates in stores might not be as tech savvy as our e-commerce users. Any small change needs a lot of training. A small bug is now 1,000 bugs and will require 1,000 deployments to fix. This is a huge change in mindset for the engineering teams. Most of the retail fundamental problems gets complicated when we add store into the mix. For example, when we do competitive pricing, it's not one .com versus another .com. It's thousands of stores in competition with another thousands of stores of a competitor and add to the mix their respective websites. The complexity grows exponentially. Imagine fulfilling online orders with stores. A pure play e-commerce retailer fulfills from a dozen fulfillment centers. Now, there are 1,000 options to consider. The allocation algorithm will need to scale for this new exponentially high number. Done right, there is a huge reduction in last mile delivery cost and increase in speed. Done bad, customer gets multiple shipments for one order and increase in delivery costs. Almost every problem, be it in supply chain or merchandising, needs to adapt to this new dimension, which makes the scaling numbers grow exponentially high. If an algorithm has to scale for a few times its current scale, it's incremental innovation. However, if the algo has to scale for 1,000x, it needs to be reinvented. While we spoke about how adding a store's dimension to an e-commerce business increases its complexity exponentially, the speed requirements of an e-commerce business is something a typical brick and mortar retailer finds it difficult to cope. Every aspect of e-commerce needs to be fast. The website, the content, the price changes, the flash deals, the delivery speeds, everything has to be fast. Not only speed, the volume requirements are immense too. 1,000 or even 100,000 TPS under 50 millisecond latencies are common. Coming from store's technology mindset, it is very important to adopt to these new speed and agility requirements. The aspect of speed is not only relevant in building microservices or technology. The nature of business itself is fast. Any business error can have a huge impact. A pricing error on an e-commerce website can quickly lead to a spike in sale and have margin impacts. Inaccurate delivery promises or even inaccurate product data will gather bad PR. These issues generally do not have a big impact in store business. There will always be time to react. Having audit systems, manual or automated, and a quick overhead mechanism across every process is mandatory for online business. While a lot of store retailers invest in building digital platforms, I have observed that investment in building a high quality ML based context aware search engine is generally an afterthought. Unfortunately, this is one of the biggest difference between brick and mortar retailer and e-commerce. In a store, a customer can walk around, see the entire limited assortment, or even ask a store associate. However, in e-commerce, since the assortment are generally large, without a good search capability, this assortment becomes undiscoverable and hence will not sell. A high quality search with a good NLP capability is a must. It actually needs to replace a store's associate who is asking, how can I help you? Additional search techniques like visual search or audio search does improve convenience. Another mind shift change in e-commerce is the heightened emphasis on traffic. Footfalls and website traffic are the two most important input metric for a retailer. While footfalls are important in stores, there is not much of optimization done on footfalls. However, in online, since there is abundance of data available, we can visualize the journey from the website traffic to an order conversion with rich data. Every step of this journey can be and should be analyzed for leaks and optimized for conversion. As I said earlier, there is large amount of data available. Everything from how many customers viewed an item to how much time they spent viewing the item, what was clicked, etc. There is an explosion of information. Hence, having a strong analytics platform and an analytics team is very important. This information needs to be mined with ML to get insights and drive features like recommendations, personalization, localization, search, etc. Finally, adding a real-time aspect to otherwise batch architected store systems and the corresponding coexistence strategy with these systems adds additional complexity. And there are no standard solutions. We will have to build custom solutions for all these problems. Now that you have touched upon the journey to make the leap to be an omni-channel retailer, let's talk about the nature of problems that an omni-channel retailer encounters and how technology and innovation can help solve them. The two channels and the respective technology supporting them have a huge contrast. While the store's technology needs to focus on stability, the e-commerce technology needs to focus on speed and experimentation. Making them work together is hard. While customer expectations and the technology industry are evolving rapidly, the fundamentals of retail are still relevant. Having an objective view of retail fundamentals like buy, sell, move, engage across the channels is very helpful in understanding the nature of solutions we would need to build. For example, the foundational components such as price, product or promo APIs needs to be built across channels. However, the experiences, since they evolve rapidly, needs to be built for need and speed. This is where having clarity in the enterprise architecture comes in handy. In addition, the data produced by the individual channels needs to be used across channels. For example, the site analytics data coming from digital can influence assortment planning in stores. The geolocated sales data coming from stores can drive the localization strategy of online. By blending both technology as well as data across channels, can we get a true omnichannel retail ecosystem? Finally, since there are very many touch points with the customer, it is extremely important to be consistent and to come across as one brand to be a successful omnichannel retailer. As we contemplated the journey of how to build an omnichannel retail platform, we at Lowe's are in the journey to build such a platform for home improvement retail industry. From a digital point of view, the Lowe's online business or Lowe's.com has been able to grow at a staggering 135% year over year. We are efficiently handling volumes of orders every day in the last 90 days that is equal to the Black Friday of 2018. This is owing to a timely shift to our cloud-based microservices architecture from monolith systems in a phased manner. From an offline customer-facing point of view, Lowe's has been categorized as an essential retailer. We have achieved phenomenal sales while simultaneously keeping associate and customer safety by implementing strict COVID-19 safety protocols such as free masks, floor markers, etc. We have used technology to analyze traffic patterns to avoid congestion and aid social distancing. Our tech has come in handy even during these trying times. Our protocols are amongst the best in industry and ranked number 6 by Forbes. As contemplated earlier, there is an increased level of customer touchpoints or interactions when we do omnichannel retail. It is more pronounced in home improvement retail. There are significant customer interactions pre-purchase as well as post-purchase. Standard retail solutions generally do not work, and I see several opportunities to do some original work. While we have made significant progress, there is still miles to go. We are in an exciting journey to become a great omnichannel retailer in the home improvement retail industry. Thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day.